a very warm welcome to you. My name is Adam Carruthers, and here we are back in Art Cube at the top floor of the Intermark. Very nifty place with lots of cool artwork like you can see behind me. Now, on the show today, plenty on offer. Zachary, our new guy, will be showcasing some really cool things. And take note, there's a phone cover here, there's a phone cover there. We have on show today, not one, but two phones to show you as well. Very excited about that. Some video game stuff as well. So obviously, lots of great stuff. Before we start all of that though, let's go to G News. Ooh, exciting times. Now, recently, I don't know if you've ever been to a phone shop, maybe in the past 2 months or so, but every time I go in, instead of having the usual brands that everybody's trying to buy, have you noticed that suddenly we see a lot of Alcatel, suddenly we see a lot of Lenovo? It's really coming up now. Alcatel, we've touched on the show briefly, how actually in terms of the very cheap phones, they really dominate the market across certain countries in the world. So now they've decided to bring up some really nice phones. We've seen the one with the Bluetooth phone attached to it, etc. So I got something really cool to show you. That's coming up in a while. First, let's focus on another brand which I keep seeing people buy in the shops. It's coming out a lot. It's coming up strong. It's Lenovo. What I have here is the Vibe Z or the Vibe Z, and I have to say it's a very nice phone. Many aspects of this are beautiful. For example, look how thin it is. Ultra thin, hyper thin, however you want to describe it. 0.31 inches, that's the specifics. And it's really nice to hold in my hand. This is actually a 5.5 inch screen. So for a lot of people, this might be a little bit too big to use, but take nothing away from Lenovo. There's plenty to love about this phone. There's a lot to love about this phone. Not only is it very thin, as you can see right there, but it's also very light. We're talking 5.12 ounces, so very nifty in your hands, as you can see. Now, this is partially aided by the fact this is not a metal back. You can probably pick it up with my mic just about. There's actually like a polycarbonate back, so it all comes together as one package. A lot to love about this phone. The screen itself is full HD. It's very nice, IPS display and all of that. Inside, there's also plenty of power, 2.2 Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, 800 I should add, not 801. And also the fact that it's got 2 GB of RAM, and it's also Lenovo's first LTE phone. However, lack of storage. This only has a 16 GB internal memory. There's no micro SD card slot. It's very basic around the sides. We just got the power button, headphone jack, a volume rocker, USB point right there for you to charge, and that's the SIM card slot. So there's really not much there. And I don't know, 16 GB in this world with LTE connections and downloads and music and stuff like Spotify now readily available here, is it enough? I don't know, that's obviously very, very subjective. Some people won't use all the memory they have, some people will. I tend to fit into the latter category. Okay, what else do I like about this? The camera is nifty, 13 megapixels, dual LED flash right there. The aperture is 1.8, so definitely get some good shots. The front camera right there, as you can see, is a 5 megapixel camera. Got nice wide viewing angles, so it's very important for taking selfies, or rather, it's very good. Now, just generally, it's a pretty nifty phone. It's a good entry by Lenovo. Like I said, a lot of people out there seem to be opting for this. They've come a long way, in my opinion. It might not be on KitKat at time of recording. Maybe an update has come out since then. So I'm eagerly awaiting that. But definitely a good step forward for Lenovo in making a very light phone, a very attractive looking phone, and a very nifty phone. Now, speaking of attractive phones, what do I have from Alcatel? So the previous phone we looked at, the Lenovo, is a shade under 1,800 ringgit. This one is a shade under 1,100 ringgit. So obviously rather different price points. So don't expect as much quality as you just seen from the Lenovo in terms of what's inside here. However, saying all that, this may be the cheaper phone from Alcatel, but it is really stunning. I mean, just look at it. You can see this translucent glass up here, and it's also there at the bottom, and that's exactly where the capacitive keys are as well. This is stunning. This is the Idol Alpha, and out of all the Alcatel phones that we've seen so far, I think this is the most premium looking, premium feeling one. It's really quite something. It's got this metallic back for one thing right there, and oleophobic coating on the front, plus this uses Dragon Trail glass. It's like a competitor to Corning, which offers the same scratch resistance and protection for the phone as you expect from so many other brands out there using something familiar. Now, take nothing away, you probably won't be able to tell the difference, or at least I haven't so far, but it really is quite cool. Now, I've shown you the translucent aspect along the side, very basic. We just got the volume rocker, we've got the power button right there, and you switch to the other side. On the side, it's the USB point right there for you to charge and connect to your computer, obviously. And as per usual, we have SIM card slot right there to pop it open. Now, just like the previous phone, this is 16 GB, and it also has no support for micro SD, no expandable storage, which for me is a big stickler, as I've stressed so many times before on this show. Is 16 GB enough? The camera at the back, single LED flash right there. It's not too bad, I have to say. It's 13 megapixels as well. However, the big difference is the front is not nearly 5 megapixels like I just showed you in the Lenovo. We're talking a 1.3 megapixel camera. So obviously, it's not going to be quite as good in terms of selfies. Then again, you look back at the price point, it's just over 1,000 ringgit, and you pay for what you get. That's what I strongly believe in. It's not quite as strong internally as well. It's only got like the 1 GB of RAM. It's shipping on 4.22 Android. So once again, obviously at time of recording, maybe an update will come out by then. It's okay. I mean, it's a 5-inch device itself. The screen itself is only 4.7. So if you prefer your phones a little bit smaller, perhaps this will do for you as well. If you're comparing these to form, which obviously goes hands down, I think, to the Alcatel One Touch, or performance, which goes to the Lenovo Vive X. So to summarize, if you really like a beautiful phone, this one is the one for you, out of these two at least. I mean, this black crystal touch panel that I'm showing you around the side, this translucent edge right here, the metallic back, which feels very classy. Lenovo done a very good job as well. Perhaps the back does not feel nearly as premium as the Alcatel. This might be, however, too big for quite a few. Like I said, it's 5.5 inches, whereas the other one is a full-on 5 inches. So that's a big difference in how you're going to grip your phone. Lenovo, though, have done a marvelous job of making sure that it's very easy to use, perhaps better than others out there. So, in closing, I mean, they're both very nifty phones, both at very different price points. So depending what suits you, well, obviously that's a matter of preference. But these two phones are definitely a worthwhile addition to our local phone market. And of course, more options, the better for the consumer.